Morning guys, GTs Garage again. What we're going to do this morning, I'm going to look at product reviews. As I said I was going to do, as I went through the bike, as I refurbished the bike, I was going to use a number of products I'd never used before. So I think as part of that process it would be useful to kind of document and review the products that I'm using, what works, what doesn't work. So I've already done one on Nitromores, I've done one on Singe Strip, done one on the Rust Gel, the Minstrel Rust Gel. So this morning's one is going to be about Hammerite. So basically Hammerite comes in two flavours. It comes in a tin can, rattle can, it comes in a paint. Hammerite is a direct to rust paint. Now there are three types of primers, shall we say. Okay, let's say. There are actually two types of primers and there's one type of paint. So if you're looking at bare metal, if you're looking to put anything onto bare metal, it should have a rust protection, a rust preventative, a rust treatment within that. And so the options you have are either an epoxy primer, you have an etch primer, both have properties within it that protect and treat rust, and then you have your third option, which is a direct to rust paint, and Hammerite falls into that direct to rust paint. Where have I used that? Where have I used the paint? Where have I used Hammerite? I've used Hammerite on the frame. It's metal paint. I didn't, at the first point, if you watch my videos back, I didn't rub it back to bare metal. I left a lot of the paint still on. What pushed me to that? The first paint job, I think, pushed me towards that. I can't stress enough, a good paint job is 99.9% on the prep, without a shadow of a doubt. So it doesn't matter what you put on the frame, if you've not done a good enough prep job, you are going to end up with shit results, mate. Okay, so that set out the way. What I chose to do originally was I decided just to rub down the areas that were obviously rusty. So I basically took those down, treated the rust however I needed to, and then I used a direct to metal Hammerite spray. So this one here is metal paint. It's satin black. It's quite a good paint. I actually like this product. It's not a bad product at all. With some caveats. So I bought this first of all and I gave it a spray. I sprayed the entire frame. It has to be said, you have to be careful when using any rattle can, and the same goes for Hammerite. You'll end up with runs. Very, very difficult not to end up with runs with any rattle can solution. It's just the way, different pressures, everything else, atomization, different pressures. If you've, for reasons that I've gone into in previous videos, as long as you start with the can off of the product that you're spraying and go across it, you'll be fine. But if you spray directly on it, the first blurt and it just ruins it. Not Hammerite's fault. So, Hammerite, I started with this. I wasn't overly keen with the, what it did do is it orange peeled straight away. Probably put it on too thick, I'm not quite sure. Or it was the primer that was on the the frame to begin with. I used an acrylic primer, that may have something to do with it, may not. But it orange peeled almost instantaneously. Did the frame, I think I did about 7 coats on the frame. Now, it went on nice, but you will go through this, you will just go through this like no one's business. Now, this is £11.99 per tin, and you don't get that much out of it. You'll end up 5 or 6 tins in if you are going to do a frame properly, and that's probably 4 or 5 coats. So prepare for some significant cost. When you put that cost together, £11.99 times 5 or 6 tins, you've almost paid for a powder coat. You've almost paid for a powder coat. And unlike wheels and unlike swing arms, there's no hidden costs. Okay, so you can just take the frame in, take all the racing bearings out, and you've ended up. You can get that powder coated probably for around 60–70 quid. A lot less work for yourself. Whereas this. So if you're putting this against powder coating all the way, because you will do your money. It's a false economy to think that powder coating a frame is more expensive than this. It's not. Okay, so but as a product, I like it in certain areas. So the powder coating, powder coat the frame. Where else did I use this? I used this bits and bobs around the house, and it is a very good product for what it does, with a couple of caveats. First caveat being, it takes an age to dry. Okay, I will show you the other one. This is the metal paint. So this is actually the smooth black Hammerite paint. I found it very thick to put on. They say put a very thin coat on and it self-levels. To a degree it does, but you will end up with paint marks in it regardless, because it says put it on thin, but it will take you hours and hours to do a cycle frame in this, and you will not get a good job. I tried it, and to be honest, because of the thickness on the paint, and they say put it on thin, you will spend so much time just trying to get it on that you will end up burning hours and that, and it's not worth it. False economy again, £19.99 for the tin. You put a couple of paints on, even if you mix the two, get a couple of heavy coats on with that, then finish it off with that. It is a false economy when you turn to powder coat. Powder coating for the frame is the cheapest and most economical way. Believe me, I've tried everything. So, where this is good is on everything else. I enjoy every kind of bracket, so basically where it is good at is the stuff like this, is your metal side stand. Perfect for that, absolutely perfect for that. You've got some areas at the back, brackets that were rusty, so you basically take them down, you de-rust them, you can use the menstrual gel rust remover, whatever you want to, however you want to get the rust off, but treat the rust. Then chuck this on it and it works blinder. Absolutely blinding piece of kit. What it will need, however, and probably in the last 4 weeks, I would say 4 weeks, we haven't gone above 20 in temperature wise. We haven't gone above 20. Given that, this is very, very slow to dry, especially the areas where you've bunched it up fairly thick. If it goes on thick, especially this stuff, and it's under 20, it's going to take weeks to cure, and it is weeks to cure. You'll come back to it. If you find a run and put your nail, that run will just come off in your hand. It'll be like rubber. So be warned, the temperature that you use this stuff is very important. But as a product, yeah, not too bad. I wouldn't do the frame in it, but I don't think it's an economical way of doing frames anymore. £11.99, 20 quid. So then you will go through 5 of these. What else to say? They say you can't rub it down. I found quite good results with rubbing down, to be honest. What I ended up doing with a lot of these, certainly the swing arm, I did the caliper swing arm the caliper mount in this. It's metal, is that so? And I did the side stand, and I will be doing the centre stand in Hammerite as well. And for those type of jobs, absolutely perfect. De-rust them, apply them, and give them weeks and weeks to cure. And if you're going to do stuff in winter, you've got to expect it's going to be weeks and weeks. But I found you can, so if you get any runs, or what I did, if you've got a run in it, you could just leave it a week or two. You could rub that run out. You could just give lightly sand, probably 1500, 1800 or 2000. Just rub it out and then respray over the top. And what you'll end up with is a very, very nice finish. I'll give you a close-up of those, but very happy with that, not a problem at all. Durability, I have no idea, and that is an important point. When you're talking Hammerite, they do say that it is durable for a couple of years. To be honest, that is what you need to work on. It is durable for a couple of years. If you go by any railings after a couple of years, they are going to show you paint's going to be flaking and everything else. The variance of temperatures eventually will. It's not a lifetime job, so it's not a lifetime coverage. It's not. No paint is. Even powder coating in the end will go. There's no permanent solution. So I wouldn't work on Hammerite lasting more than 2 to 5 years. Powder coating I would expect to last longer than that. But I think 2 years. If you're going to do a job in Hammerite, 2 years is about it, to be honest, and then you're going to see wear and tear. And it'll depend on what contact that comes in. The bottom of that side stand, that's not going to last 2 years. That will pit fairly quickly, purely because it's being rubbed across metal and ground across metal permanently. So you have to be realistic as well. Okay, but that side bit, that should last 2 years minimum. It'll be good. It won't be bad at all. So I think that's it. Out of 10, I would probably give it, in a situational, out of 10 I'd probably give it about a 7.5. It's good for certain areas, but it is a false economy if you're thinking about doing large jobs with it. It is a false economy. You will not get the finish that you think you're going to get. Okay. Hopefully that's been of some help. Alright, Hammerite, GTS Garage. I shall see you in a while. Bye.